Welcome to part 2 of the Bug Out Bag series. If you're just tuning in and you haven't seen the other parts, I would highly recommend you go back and check out part 1. Part 2 is going to focus on protection and personal care. Part 1 focused on water, how to store it, filter it, care for it so that you're not going to get sick or some disease from it. And fire, how to start a fire, how to keep a fire going, etc. So let's get right into it. The biggest thing as far as personal protection is concerned, in my opinion, is a sidearm. That's whether it's a pistol or a rifle. Ideally, I would recommend both. This is a Springfield XD Compact in 45 ACP. Nice thing is, it has a double stack magazine, so it will carry a minimum 10 rounds with the smallest clip that I have for it. So it also has excellent knockdown power. So if I'm in a close range situation and I need to do something about a threat, that's not going to be an issue because I have excellent stopping power and a nice compact firearm. Now you'll also want, ideally, a rifle as well. Obviously it's too big for me to throw up on the table here, but for me, my personal choice is either my Ruger 1022, just because I can carry a lot of rounds because they're very, very light, or if I want something with a lot of stopping power, I'm probably going to go with my SKS, or later, once I've completed the build, my AK-47. If you don't know what those are, you can check out my YouTube channel. There's one specifically dedicated to my Ruger 1022 sniper build, and there's also a video titled My Arsenal that will show you a picture of my SKS. So the next important part would be, what if your firearms aren't working or you're out of bullets? Well, obviously a stick would work, but why not go with a knife? And better yet, if you're thinking of a knife, why not go with something bigger? I chose to go with the SOG machete. This is the SOG Fari 13-inch machete. Let me get this all in here for you. As you can see, it's got a serrated back to it. It's got a nice long edge. The nice thing about this is it's full tang, meaning the blade continues and it's all one piece into the handle, as you can tell from the rivets here. And the nice thing is they even added a part on the back here, so if you needed to use this for smashing something or breaking something open, you're perfectly equipped with this. Plus, the other thing I liked about this versus a traditional knife, I can use the serrated edge to actually cut through stuff, for instance limbs or something like that. Say I wanted to cut up firewood and some of it was pretty thick that I couldn't just break myself. This is where a serrated edge would come in handy for me. So that's also personal protection, and it also has functional uses in addition to just being used as a weapon. Nice thing is they even give you a little sheath to go with it. Going along with protection, you have to also think about physical protection from a sense of shelter as well. For me, a tent would be incredibly bulky in a bug-out bag. I chose to go with a tarp. It's obviously not rip-proof, but it's not going to have issues if it snags on something. It's pretty much waterproof, and the nice thing is, with paracord and tent pegs, you can actually rig this up between trees as a makeshift tent, and it just folds up a lot nicer, in my opinion, than the other options. There are my tent pegs, and then my paracord. The paracord is also nice because it's going to come in handy in tight spots and situations where you need to restrain something, tie something down. Say your bag wears a hole in it, you can use this to kind of do a makeshift netting to patch it up. There are a lot of uses for paracord, even if you're not going to use it for tent rope or anything like that. I would still highly recommend having some on hand, at least a good 20 or 30 feet, just because you'd be surprised how often this stuff comes in handy. As some of the other people who follow me on YouTube can attest, it has many, many uses. I also got some thermal blankets. These are very compact and lightweight. They have a metallic finish to them, so the design of them is to reflect about 90% of my body heat back at me, and they're also pretty much waterproof too. So they would make an excellent makeshift blanket for if I'm tenting it and it's raining or it's cold outside. This is going to help me keep from getting sick, because the last thing you want to do is get sick when you're out away from any sort of medical facilities and you don't have access to medicine. It's just going to make everything that much more difficult for you. So now we'll move on to personal care. A lot of people don't realize this, but depending on your state, there are snakes and other poisonous creatures out there. So, where I happen to live, there are a lot of snakes. So, it only makes sense for me to get a venom extractor. So this essentially has suction ability, and what it does is you put it right over the bite area and you use it very quickly to remove the poison before it has a chance to work its way into your blood system. Obviously, if you don't get bitten in one of your limbs or extremities, it's going to be a lot less effective. So hopefully you don't get bit in like the stomach or the butt or something like that, because it's going to be harder to pull this off. So the next thing I would also recommend having with you is a first aid kit. You can get them pretty cheap online, and I don't know if you can read the label here, but it comes with 2 2-inch elastic bandages, a pill bottle, iodine wipes, alcohol wipes, antiseptic wipes, comes with gauze pads, gauze strips, comes with gloves, tape, pain reliever, an instant ice pack, tons of stuff, tweezers, scissors, lip treatment. It's definitely something that I would recommend everyone have in their bug out bag, because you never know when this stuff's going to come in handy. And from my point of view, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And then one other thing that I would highly recommend people have is a flare gun. I know that sounds a little bit ridiculous, but if things get really bad and you end up in a tight spot and you can't help yourself and you don't have anyone with you, this is going to be kind of your last ditch effort. Hopefully it doesn't come down to this for you or for me, but at the worst case, I want to be able to let people know someone's in trouble. The other thing you have to keep in mind is, if you're in a situation such as anarchy or something like that, you're going to run into a problem because you don't know who you're attracting. You could be attracting help. You could be attracting someone who's taking advantage of the situation, knows that someone's in distress and needs help, and they're pretty much just going to take what you have and leave you for dead or kill you. Now, obviously that's an incredibly depressing scenario, but you have to be aware of that problem. So this would be a last-ditch effort, because if you're trying to lay low and you can fend for yourself and avoid using this, I would. So, thanks for watching. And again, keep watching for updates. I'm going to have a third series out. It's going to cover food preparation, good sources of nutrition, and kind of wrap the series up. So, thanks for watching. This is Destroyer, signing off.